Hello aspirants, I welcome you all to Daily Current Affairs of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 11th of May 2025. Now before getting into the list of articles, I have two important announcements. One is regarding our UPSC mock test. Even today you can register for this particular mock test and you can take up the next two remaining mock tests and check your preparedness for your UPSC preliminary examination. Now the second important note is about our Shankar summary. We have already made 3 different videos on the Shankar summary. It is actually a revision type of videos. Firstly, we have uploaded history, then geography, then science and tech, and we have even uploaded polity. Polity will be uploaded tomorrow by the morning. So you can view all the videos and get yourself benefited for the revision of your preliminary examination. So with this note, let us look into the list of articles for today's discussion. So in this first article, we'll be discussing in detail about Kaziranga National Park, basics about it. In the second article, we'll be discussing about what is a magnetar, how it is formed, and how it leads or how it helps in creating heavy metals like gold. Thirdly, we'll be talking about IMF, some of the lending instruments of IMF. Fourthly, we'll be seeing about a zoonotic disease called Toxoplasmosis and recent discovery done by scientists. And in the final article, we'll be talking about Operation Trident, which happened in 1971, and we'll be seeing whether there is a possibility for repetition of this particular operation in the current scenario. So we shall see all that in this news article discussion without any delay. Let us get into the first article. Now look at this article. This article talks about Kaziranga National Park. Now recently it is in news because one of the anti-poaching sniffer dog has died in the park. So from the prelims perspective, we have to learn about the floral and faunal importance. So let us start with where the park is actually located. So it is actually located in Assam. When we talk about the important rivers, Brahmaputra, it flows in the north, and we have Karbi Anglong Hill. It is located in the south of this particular park. And talking about the approximate area of this particular national park, it is 430 square kilometers, and the national highways 37 actually passes through this particular park. Then it was declared as a national park in 1974, remember that, and it is designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site very recently in 1985. Now moving on, talking about the conservational significance, it is actually known for largest population of one-horned rhinoceros, and the IUCN status of this one-horned rhinoceros is vulnerable. So it was declared as a tiger reserve in 2006. So here the Kaziranga National Park, it is actually a national park, and it is also a tiger reserve, and it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Remember all that. And it is recognized as an important bird area, IBA, by BirdLife International, and it is known as hotspot of biodiversity in India. So you can use these tags when you are writing your mains answers. Now moving on, let us see about the key species. As I said, it has the largest number of rhinoceros. Over 2000 individuals are there, which is highest globally. And then literally 57% of the global population of wild water buffalo is there. And there are some important species like eastern swamp deer, hog deer. Then we have elephant, sambar, gaur. See, all these names I am telling because you have to be very familiar with these names, because in preliminary examination there might be options stating all these animals. So while you know that, you can easily eliminate it even though you could not directly arrive at the answer. So talking about certain carnivores, there is Bengal tiger, remember that. Then there is leopards, jungle cat, and fishing cats. And there are a lot of small mammals like Bengal fox, golden jackal, Indian pangolin, and etc. And aquatic animals include Ganges river dolphin, which is an endangered species. Talking about birds, there are 450 or more than 450 species. Mostly they are migratory, and certain species are resident inside. A very good example are black-necked stork, then greater argent. Here I have mentioned about the vegetation type. Remember, it has both the tropical moist mixed deciduous forest as well as tropical semi-evergreen forest. So based on the things we have discussed, I have created a prelims question for you. Here two statements have been given. First statement says it has the highest density of one-horned rhinoceros in the world and second highest number of rhinoceros in Assam after Povitra Wildlife Sanctuary. So here, instead of you knowing about only Kaziranga National Park, you should know about Bobitara as well. So the second statement says Kaziranga is home to 9 of 14 species of primates found in the Indian subcontinent. So this is also a tricky statement. So here the correct answer for the question is option 2. Option B, 2 only. The first statement is actually incorrect. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article. The article states that a team led by Anirudh Patel found direct evidence that magnetars can produce gold via R process synthesis, nucleosynthesis. So you don't have to worry a lot about all these terms. It is a very simple thing. Let me recode each and everything for you in a simpler form. But for that we have to first know what is a magnetar mean. See, magnetar is nothing but a neutron star. When a neutron star will create is after a very big massive star runs out of your fuel, it leads to supernova. So after supernova there will be a small star which will be called as a neutron star. So when this neutron star have the maximum amount of magnetic field, then we will be calling that as a magnetar. Okay, it is as simple as that. Here you can see the actual definition of it. A neutron star is the ultra dense core left behind after a massive star explodes in a supernova. So when this neutron star has a magnetic field 1,000 times stronger than a normal neutron star, we call it as a magnetar. So having seen that, we have to look into when the magnetars are formed. As I said, when a massive star dies due to in a supernova explosion, or when the core collapses into a neutron star, it happens. Or if certain conditions, like if there is a rapid spin as well as the fluid dynamics actually supports, that is, if there is a favorable condition, then the magnetars can be formed. So here comes the question, how the heavy metal, particularly heavy metal like gold, can be formed by these magnetars. So for that we have to understand about other cut panniru. See, what happens when a new magnetar is formed or when a magnetar gets collapses, a lot of neutron rich materials will be exposed in the space. So when this neutron rich material is exposed in the space and when there is favorable conditions like intense heat, then intense pressure and free neutrons, the R process will be happening. See, R process is nothing but a rapid neutron capture. See, what happens is the nuclei will capture the excess amount of neutrons that is available in the space and it will become unstable in the as an element itself. So this unstable element will undergo beta decay, which leads to the formation of heavy metals, especially the gold, platinum and etc. So from this we can conclude that the magnetars are being the one of the site where heavy metals like gold, platinum and uranium are born. So this has been found by scientists right now. So all these have a very good implication that gold may have existed earlier in the universe than previously believed, and it also helps us to enhance the understanding of element formation and galactic chemical evolution. So this is what the entire article is about. If you don't get it, just revisit the. So if you don't get the concept, you can again watch the video and get a clarity. So based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a prelims question for you. Let me read out the question. Here 3 statements are given about magnetars. First statement says they are type of neutron stars with strong magnetic field. Second statement says they can produce heavy metals through rapid neutron capture process. Third statement says studying magnetars will help us to understand the evolution of galaxies. So here the correct answer for the question is option C, all the above. All the statements given here are correct. So with this learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this news article. According to the news article, the International Monetary Fund IMF has approved the immediate disbursement of about $1 billion to Pakistan under the ongoing extended fund facility. So, from the prelims perspective, we have to learn about what is the CEFF and certain other lending instruments of IMF. So, let's start with EFF, which is Extended Fund Facility. So, this particular instrument, it was launched by IMF in 1974, and the very purpose of this EFF is to support countries with long-term structural issues like ineffective institutions, governance problems, or persistent trade imbalances. So, all these changes really it could not be fixed within a shorter duration of time. So, those kinds of long-term problems, to solve that or sort out that kind of problems, IMF is providing fund. So, the loan duration is typically 3 to 4 years and the repayment period is up to 10 years. So, once the loan is given, you have 10 years to repay that particular loan. This particular loan which is provided under EFF and the repayment option is actually greater than other IMF loans. Now, talking about the conditionality, there is only one condition, that the country should implement deep economic reforms that are suggested by the IMF, and IMF will be actually monitoring the actual implementation of all the reforms. So, these are all very basic things that you have to remember about EFF. Now, along with this EFF, there are literally lot of other instruments. So, here for the short term, we have the standby arrangement that can be availed by any country and the duration is 1 to 2 years. The long term we have EFF. So, similar to that, for short term we have SBA. Then we have rapid financing instrument. This also can be claimed by any particular country and the duration is very less than 1 year, which means it is for short duration. So, these kinds of loans, it can be used, we can obtain that from IMF for any kind of sudden shock or emergency need, or any kind of resource chunk during pandemic or disasters. And then we have rapid credit facility, extended credit facility. Both will be given only to the low income countries, and the rapid RCF, it is for less than 1 year, which means it is actually a concessional emergency loan provided to the low income countries, and even in certain cases the interest itself is waived. So, that kind of fund is this RCF. And then we have extended credit facility, which is for 3 to 5 years, which is actually a long term concessional fund for any kind of developmental and structural issues. And then finally we have FCL, which is flexible credit line. This is given to countries with stronger economies. So, if there is a statement in preliminary examination stating that IMF provides fund only to low income countries, no, it can offer fund even to, it can offer loan even to high income countries. So, one of such instrument is this FCL, flexible credit line. So, the duration is also flexible since the amount given is actually safer with the parties. These are just a precautionary support given by IMF to the high income countries, and it is only and there is no any specific policy conditions when it comes to FCL. So, based on the things we have discussed, I have prelims question. So, these are all very important facts that you have to remember about instruments, lending instruments when it comes to IMF. So, with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now, look at this article. This article talks about Toxoplasmosis. Now, recently NIAB scientists has found that CRISPR-Cas9 can be used to identify a specific protein called TGCDC5 in this particular Toxoplasma gondii, which can be targeted to prevent this particular disease called Toxoplasmosis. So, in order to understand what I am talking about, you have to learn about this Toxoplasmosis. So, it is nothing but a zoonotic disease. It is caused by Toxoplasma gondii. So, this is how the parasite looks like. So, just like amoeba, it is a parasitic microorganism. So, this parasitic microorganism causes zoonotic disease and it spreads through contaminated food, especially undercooked meat. So, it can cause a lot of dangerous implications. For example, it can lead to abortion, neonatal mortality and economic loss even in livestock. Due to its severity, World Health Organization and FAO has identified this particular organism as the 4th most concerning foodborne infection globally, and it is endemic in India. And remember, toxoplasmosis is actually endemic in India with 20% prevalence. Now, moving on, let us see about the symptoms. As I said, in pregnant women, it can lead to miscarriage, brain damage, eye inflammation, and seizure. When it comes to healthy people, usually there will be no symptom or mild flu-like symptom. For example, fever, fatigue, and swollen glands. And finally, when it comes to immunocompromised individuals, it can lead to severe neurological and respiratory symptoms. Now, moving on, talking about the treatment, there is usually no treatment. And in severe cases, especially during pregnancy, these kinds of drugs can be given in order to treat the particular infection. Now, moving on, let us talk about this CRISPR-Cas9. See, CRISPR-Cas9 is actually known as the gene editor. So, if there is a particular series of gene and if you have to edit the particular gene, you can cut, you can paste, you can add, or you can replica through this CRISPR-Cas9 protein. So what they have done is they have used this CRISPR-Cas9 to delete this particular protein TGCD5 in this particular parasite. So what happens is the RNA splicing will not happen if this protein is not there in the parasite. This will reduce the symptoms that the infection will cause in the host animal or host human being. So this is what the breakthrough discovery and the article is about. Even they have checked this with mice. They have seen a visual change, especially development in strong immunity, and gained protection against future infection, as well as showed partial protection during pregnancy. And this particular finding, it has also opened the doors for new treatment or vaccines for toxoplasmosis. So based on the things I have discussed, I have created a mains question for you. The genetic disorders are a rising concern for the nations due to its socio-economic cost. In the context, discuss the initiatives taken by India against genetic disorders and what are the challenges in it. So you can write an answer for 50 marker and 250 words and you can post it in the comment section so that we can review your answer as well as your peers can review it. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article. This article talks about Operation Trident. Now Operation Trident is recently in news because after the Pahalgam terror attack, India has successfully completed its Operation Sindoor, and in retaliation, Pakistan is resorting to attack. So here comes the question, will India be able to repeat the Operation Trident recently? So to answer this particular question, first we have to understand about Operation Trident. So let us understand about the background of it. We all know that in 1971, during the Bangladesh Liberation War, India supported Bangladesh. It even accepted a lot of refugees from the Bangladesh. And what happened on December 3rd of 1971 is Pakistan launched preemptive airstrikes on Indian airbase, which is located in the western sector, to be specific, Punjab and Rajasthan. So this declared war, this is the beginning of the war, where India started to retaliate again through this Operation Trident. This Operation Trident happened on the very next day, 4th December. So India responded with a powerful naval attack on Karachi harbour through this Operation Trident. Now talking about the specific information about this Operation Trident, here the commander of this operation is Commander Babru Ban Yadav, and the ships include INS Nipat, Nirgat and Veer. So the missile used was P-15 Trident styles. So here you can see the actual image of the particular operation. So during the operation, say it was launched from Oka port, which is in Gujarat, and it destroyed 3 Pakistan Navy ships and 1 Ammo merchant ship. You can see that in the image even. And they even hit the fuel and ammo depots at Karachi port, and no Indian casualty was happened in this particular operation. This was followed by Operation Python, which happened in December 8 to 9. So what is the implication of this particular thing is, it is the first combat use of missile boat by Indian Navy, and even the Karachi port was rendered non-operational after this particular operation. So we can tell that this particular operation, it did not alone boost India's morale as well as maritime confidence, but also made the first shift towards the modern usage of naval warfare in the southern Asia. And even this particular day, December 4th, it is celebrated as India's Naval Day to showcase and celebrate the strategic as well as tactical success of Operation Trident. So, since that incident, we have evolved a lot when it comes to maritime security. For example, we have missiles, for example, BrahMos, Harpoon, Dhanush, and K4. We have aircraft carrier, very big aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, then Vikramaditya. We have nuclear submarines, INS Arihant. We have surface to air missile as well as air to air missile, which includes Barak 8 as well as Astrak MK2, and we even have modern ISR as well as surveillance. So, being this powerful, India can actually take a preemptive strike, but there are certain concerns. Let us see them one by one. Firstly, is the global norms. So, this preemptive strike may actually face backlash from the superior countries, even the well developed countries, and India's image as a responsible power will be in question. And currently, Pakistani have developed their naval capabilities as well, and they are also a nuclear country. So here, India should focus on different alternatives instead of straightly going into a full-fledged war. What are all the alternatives? Firstly, the sea control and denial through carriers and submarines, and we have to engage in hybrid wars. For example, we can engage, we can for example, we can merge warfare like cyber warfare, economic warfare, as well as even psychological warfare. When it comes to economic warfare, we can ask for sanctions, economic sanctions on Pakistan. Then, when we talk about psychological thing, we can include bilateral forums like SARC. We can use multilateral forums like SARC, BIMSTEC, and make Pakistan accountable there. And apart from that, we can use lot of naval exercise for deterrent signaling. So, to conclude, we can tell that India should have a strategy that must balance power with responsibility, and we should leverage our superiority without triggering any kind of escalation in the region. So, based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a mains question for you. Let me read out the question. Operation Trident of 1971 showcased India's maritime powers and marked a strategic shift in naval warfare. Discuss the operation's significance and assess its relevance in today's geopolitical and defense environment. So you can write an answer and post it in the comment section so that we can review your answer. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now, thank you so much for listening.